Running an application in Eclipse is pretty straightforward. Once you've typed in your program and you've saved it and you don't have any kind of problems, no compiler errors, all you need to do is click on the Run button in the toolbar. So whatever the currently selected program is, when you click Run, it goes ahead and executes it. So Run in the toolbar is this green play button here with the white little triangle inside. And it runs the program. In this case, it does a printout, and the printout will show itself in the console view down below. That console view you can clear if you wanted to. There's a little X where you remove the launch, where you clear out whatever's been currently run. If you wanted to do so, you can definitely do that. Another thing to note is that, and this will happen real fast, but when you run something in the console, one of the options, one of the things that comes up is there's a little red button in the console toolbar, a terminate button. And so if you ever write a program that's a runaway program that goes on and loops forever and you want to kill it, you can use that terminate button. My program runs so darn quick that I don't have the chance to kill that fast enough to demonstrate just yet. I'm sure there'll be chances in future videos where we'll see that happening. Other things to mention, let's say I had, and I do have, several classes here. I've got my first class and my second class. Maybe my second class will print out, sysout control space, there we go. I'll print out hi there. Whichever class is currently selected, whichever one's currently active, when I hit run, it runs that one. So if I've chosen my first class as the tab, it runs that. If I choose my second class, it runs that one. So whichever one has a main that's currently selected is going to be the one that it tries to run for you. Over on the left, you can see I've got the two classes as well. When I choose them on the left side, it doesn't change which tab is selected. I could maybe like double click it and that changes the tab, or there's a little arrow under the Package Explorer called Link with Editor. Sometimes I click on that because when you link with the editor, if I click on my second class, just single click, then it switches the tab, switches the current editor to that one that's selected in Package Explorer. That's an optional thing. I like to do that. Something else I want to show you. If we wanted to print out what was in args 0, so maybe print out the value of args sub 0. On the command line, that's easy to do. I would run the Java command and pass that argument right after the name of the class. Well, in Eclipse, if I want to pass something into arg0, I need to run it a little differently. Rather than doing just a plain old run, or clicking on the run button in the toolbar, I need to do what's called a run configuration. So I bring up run configurations, and since I've already run both my first class and my second class, there's already a configuration for each of them under Java application. I think I was working with my first class, yep. And so I'm going to go to my first class, choose that under Java application, and it tells me, all right, that's in the first project. It's the my first class in the examples package. But there's a tab called arguments. If I click on that, I can pass in, my name here as a program argument. And if I had several arguments, I would just put them white space one after another. Now if I click run on the bottom of this screen, it invokes that class using my argument, or in this case, the two arguments, and I'm passing those over to that string array. And so it says hello and Jamie. Question for you folks. So hello is on one line, Jamie's on the next line. How can I change my code here so that they're on the same line? If you're not quite sure, pause the video and think about it before I give you the answer. You might remember from the last set of videos that you can do a print instead of a println. Print doesn't add a new line. And so if I say print and print out hello followed by arg0, they should appear on the same line. So I'll save it, and I'll click run. And by the way, now when I hit run, it runs whatever's stored in the run configuration. So it passes the command line argument in. If I needed to clear that out, I'd have to go back and readjust that run configuration. An optional way to change the configuration or to access run configurations is choose the little drop down next to the run button in the toolbar, and you can go to run configurations. Well, folks, we got another problem though. If we look in the console, it says hello Jamie, but the first and last name are squished together. How do I fix that? I want to put a space between them. Pause the video, think about it, and start it again, and I'll give you the answer. What we need to do is we need to output a space, right? So there's different ways to output a space. I could put in another system out print and physically put in a open quote, close quote, and that would add the space for me. Hello, space Jamie. Or maybe it's just easier for me to do a hello plus open quote, close quote, hello plus space, and just do this in a couple lines. Run it that way. That would work. Or perhaps I don't even need to concatenate. Maybe I just do hello and then add the space directly after the word hello, and that would work as well. I guess if I even wanted to make this less lines of code, I can combine hello and arg0. I could do a plus here and take and bring in whatever we had before, the arg0, and just put that right after the hello. So run that, and now it's got hello Jamie. So lots of ways to get there. 1 line, 2 lines. At this point, it's just a print. Maybe it doesn't matter that it's not a println since it's just in the console. But if you're doing this on the command line, maybe you'd want the next, or the command prompt to go to the next line. So we could do a print or println. The output in this case is going to look pretty darn similar. I guess it does show the cursors on the next line now because we did the println. One other thing to mention to you, perhaps you haven't run a program yet. So let me remove these run configurations. So I can delete what they call a launch here, a launch configuration. So I choose it and I click the little X. So now there's no Java applications that are available to run. So perhaps here I am. I've got this program, I've typed it in, I want to run it, but I know I need to pass in an argument. Well, I can go back to run configurations and I can go to Java application and click on the little new icon and build a brand new launch of this, going over to arguments and putting in whatever command line arguments I want. Be careful when you do a new launch that it does fill in the correct main class for you. If you have a different class selected, maybe it won't choose the proper one for you. So now when I do run, it does the right thing for me again. So folks, here's what I'd like to have you do, just as kind of a quick little on your systems kind of thing. Let's have you go to your machines and go through these last couple steps that I just went through. So what I want you to do is create so I want you to launch Eclipse, tell it to go ahead and use your workspace, whatever default workspace you want to put it in, create a brand new Java project, give it any old name you want, and then in that project build a brand new class. And in that class, maybe type in a quick main and do a quick little printout, something just so you can run it and experiment with the run and the run configurations. Passively watching me do it, that gets you so far, but actively doing it on your keyboard, that'll really help it sink in. So please do a little impromptu exercise right here, right now, and then when we come back, we'll talk about how to do some debug steps with Eclipse.